Okay, we're live here with Gabe Taylor, Game Master, here to present to us his favorite campfire game. It's called Werewolf. We're going to get into the details. We have a couple willing participants and myself. This is supposedly a fantastic game to play with your group around the campfire, and Gabe's going to walk us through here how it's done.
Sweet, thank you. Okay, so the name of the game is Werewolf. It's a game of secret identities, and the reason why it's so cool for Trek or Intrepid or whatever group you're with is because the amount of players that you play with, it's best for 8 to 18 players. That's why it's so good, and it's also really good around the campfire. So it's a game of secret identities, and what that means is you will have a deck of cards or pieces of paper or whatever with a bunch of identities on it, and then you'll just secretly pass those out, and those people will keep them hidden, all right? They are not allowed to show those identities to anybody else in the game. They can say whatever they want. They can lie, manipulate, whatever. They can say whatever they want. They just can't show the cards, just like in poker.
Okay.
So the first thing that you want to do is you want to explain. It's a game of secret identities. Then you want to explain the two teams in Werewolf. So there's the villager team, and then there's the werewolf team. So the way that the villagers win is if they kill all the werewolves. The way that the werewolves win is if they can kill enough villagers so that there's an equal number of werewolves to villagers at the end of a day period. And what I mean by a day period is there's 2 periods in the game, right? There's day and then there's night. So the game will start off with a night period.
Okay.
And everybody will close their eyes because you're all going to sleep. And then what the narrator, you, the tour leader, will do is as everybody has shut their eyes, you'll ask the werewolves to silently wake up and open their eyes. The werewolves will then decide on someone to kill. There might be 1, 2, or 3 werewolves. So they'll decide on one person to kill. That person will die. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then at some point, also in the night, you'll ask the doctor to wake up. Now the doctor is a special type of villager, and the doctor has the ability to save 1 person per night. That's just their ability. And then the third special ability is the mystic. So the mystic is also on the villager team, and they have a special ability where every single night they can point to any single one person in the group, and then I, the narrator, because I know who's who, will tell them whether they are a werewolf or not a werewolf. Now it's imperative that when you are doing all of this during the nighttime, you are focusing on telling them to be silent, because any kind of rustling or anything will cause accusations, which you want, but you want to remind them to be silent. Okay, cool. So you have the villager team and the werewolf team, and you all know how each team works?
Yes.
Cool. And that's the same thing that you would do when you're talking to your passengers. You want to explain the teams and then the roles. So there's only those roles: normal villagers, normal werewolves, the doctor and the mystic, who count as villagers, but they have special abilities.
Yep. Okay.
Cool. So you have all those identities, and again, normally you play with 8 to 18 people. This is just a mock, so go ahead and take that. There you go. There you go. And remember, you cannot show these to anybody. Great, and I'll, whatever. Cool. And so the way that it works is we're not actually going to go through it, but I'll just go through the motions, and in this PDF file, I'll break it down how you want to say it. So the way that it works is you ask the entire village to fall asleep. That means close your eyes. Go ahead and do that. Then you would ask your werewolves to silently wake up, and then you say, "Werewolves, please decide on someone who you'd like to kill," by pointing silently, and whoever is the werewolf will do that. You take note in your head who they've tried to kill, and then you say, "Werewolf, fall asleep." Next, you wake up the doctor. Doctor wakes up, and you ask the doctor to save someone that night. That's their special ability. They can save 1 person from a werewolf that night. If they happen to point to the same person that the werewolf would kill and said they wouldn't die, normally they're not ever going to point to the same person. And then you ask the doctor to fall asleep. And then we ask our mystic to wake up. Mystic is our third special person. And then you ask our mystic to silently point to someone in the circle, and then you, the narrator, know if they are a werewolf or not, and you will tell them they are a werewolf silently. or not a werewolf silently. And then you ask your mystic to fall asleep. And then night has ended. Everybody please wake up. This is your job as the narrator. Everybody is now awake, and you say, Joe Schmo over here, he's now dead. Now you have to remind your passengers, dead people can't talk, unfortunate. But now they can keep their eyes open and watch the rest of the drama unfold throughout the night, throughout every subsequent night.
Yeah.
So Joe Schmo is dead, and then you ask Joe Schmo, were you on the villager team or the werewolf team? Mm-hmm. And all of your players will know how many werewolves there are, so they can start to deduce when they start to get in trouble. And the person who's killed by the werewolf will always be on the village team, obviously. But at this point in the game, we now have a dead person, and maybe someone heard some rustlings, maybe somebody has some wild accusations that they want to make. You then open the floor to discussions, and this is now the day period. So all these wild accusations go on, you accuse you, whatever, and people start to think back to the past days or the future days, and people start to remember how people vote, and that's how you get stuff like that. Great, so let's say we all voted, and the narrator doesn't vote, but let's say the village votes for this person to be killed by the village. And then you were to ask them as a narrator, were you on the village team or the werewolf team? If they're on the werewolf team, great job, villagers. If they're on the villager team, dang, sucks to suck. Dead people can't talk after that. But and then as soon as the village kills someone during the day period, night has fallen and everybody falls asleep. You keep on doing this until one of the teams has won. And remember, the village team wins if all the werewolves are killed, and the werewolf team wins if there's an equal number of villagers and werewolves at the end of a day period.
Gotcha. All right.
One more thing.
Yeah.
So these 4 roles, normal villager, normal werewolf, mystic, doctor, are in every single game. Every single one. It's your job to take note if the villagers won super easily. You might want to add a couple roles that will make it harder for the villagers. And if the werewolves won super easily, you can add a couple roles to make it harder for the werewolves. And I'll also include all of these extra roles in this file that will be up online.
Okay, sounds intricate and fun. Very cool. Well, now we got the game master, Gabe Taylor, his favorite campfire game here for you at your disposal. Thank you very much, Gabe, and we'll see you out there.
All right.